What's up, everybody? Friday night, February 12th, 2021. Welcome to this edition of the Don Tony Show. Yeah, I'm a little bit bummed tonight. Not dressed. My hair's a little messed up. I got a haircut today, though. It's Valentine's Day. Indoor dining in New York is back at 25%. Gonna take the missus out tomorrow for a little dinner, and maybe after a little suki. We'll see what happens. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Big shout out to everybody. Roll call. What's up, Austin? Nan, So Fly, RCWR, Phil the Promoter, Nathan Rita, Roger Rubio, Austin Kinko, Michael Gonzalez, Phil the Promoter, and there's hundreds others on Twitter, Facebook, Daily Motion, Twitch, Periscope, but we only have our YouTube family on the chat. Hey, you know, that's the way it goes. But King Ace, what's going on? King Ace hanging out on Facebook. So I hope everybody's having a great night. I want to thank everybody who hung out last night. You know all the personal stuff that's going on with my family and my father. I don't need to keep bringing it up every single show. Every day that goes by, it's one step closer to recovery. But, last night especially, I think just with everything that's going on with that, the stuff with COVID, this political nonsense, this impeachment stuff, it's dividing the country even worse. There's no healing. There's no getting together. You see just this insane hatred and bias. It's not going away for years and years and years. So if we could all hang out, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for a little while, and basically just have fun, not sit on Twitter with the grumpy face and making insults and jokes. That's the only way you could get attention. Take that away, they have nothing. We have some fun over here. So, now, last night, I look, there ain't nothing special about yours truly. I have the microphone. I try to be the mic piece for a lot of you out there. I try to be straight up and honest. Some people like it, some people don't. That's the way it is. But I just try to keep it real as much as possible. So we're gonna have a fun show tonight. Absolutely. We're gonna just focus on 3 topics tonight. Actually 4. Because yesterday we were talking a little bit about Mia Yim and Keith Lee getting engaged, which is wonderful. But I tell you, I can't thank you enough for when people remember personal stuff about yours truly. But when some of you out there get very, very detailed, it's not on a creep level, but it's on a level like, wow, people care that much. And when I showed the picture yesterday of Mia Yim and Keith Lee engaged, between last night and today, and it may not sound like a lot, but I got about a dozen emails from some of you who tuned in yesterday. I got more, but 12 in particular had to do with this topic. And a dozen of you out there said, wow, that does look awfully a lot like the ring I gave my fiance. And I said, I got to go look at them side by side to see. And there's no comparing. I mean, we're not trying to say one is better than the other, but all I will tell you, just for good fun, Keith Lee has got some pretty damn good taste, not only in the woman, but in the ring as well. But I wanted to show it to you side by side for those that wanted to see it. That is Mia Yim's engagement ring from Keith Lee. The one on the right is the engagement ring I gave my fiance. Now, if the angle was slightly more for my fiancés, I think they would look identical. Pretty cool. So Keith Lee, Mia Yim, much love. All the best to both of you, and pretty damn good taste in the ring. So yeah, you see them side by side. It's pretty cool. So anyway, so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Smackdown. Smackdown tonight, I thought was very good. Smackdown, for the most part, is better than Raw consistently on a week-to-week basis. Smackdown tonight was... Anybody ever hear the phrase for music, easy listening? Some radio stations have actually used that term, easy listening. You sit back, the music is mellow, you hang out, it just relaxes you, easy listening. You don't have to think about the lyrics, you just put you in a nice frame of mind. Smackdown tonight was easy viewing. Couple of qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. Basically, look, we tell it like it is. Roman Reigns' title reign has been a boatload of smoke and mirrors. And the reason why I say that is, and you know what? I'm not trying to compare it of stars from yesteryear, but growing up a Hulkamaniac, when you look back on it, it is similar. Because Hulk Hogan would fight King Kong Bundy, would fight Terry Funk, would fight Don Muraco, would fight this. And we realized years later, like, wait, come to think of it, during his title reign, we never really felt there was any huge threat. I think Paul Orndorff turning might have been the first time that I thought that maybe Hogan could possibly lose the belt. But Roman Reigns, you see this Elimination Chamber stuff. This is just smoke and mirrors with the title reign to get to WrestleMania. Roman Reigns will not be defending his title in the Chamber. Instead, we will have a Chamber match featuring SmackDown stars, and whoever wins the Chamber then faces Roman Reigns later on in the night. There is zero chance Roman Reigns is losing that title before WrestleMania. You dissect the people. How many of you out there read all those news reports? Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania. This might be their way of getting Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns out of everybody's system. But the fact of the matter is, since Roman Reigns has won that belt, honestly, let's be honest for a minute, any of you out there ever felt during day one of his title reign to tonight, did you ever feel that there was ever a chance that he was losing the belt against whoever he was facing? I love the feud with Kevin Owens. I'm glad that it's continuing a little bit further. They have great chemistry together. They put on great matches, and that's what I care about more than anything. But never once did I ever think Kevin Owens had any shot whatsoever of taking a title off of Roman Reigns. We're now going to start getting fans back at wrestling. Do you see? New York made some announcements. They're going to allow sporting events again. People get tested right on the spot, and this and that. Now you see all these websites saying that, WWE could be going to New York. What happened to all those clickbaiters a couple of months ago that said WWE will never return to house shows ever again? What about those clickbaiters 2 weeks ago that said the morale in the WWE locker room it hasn't been this good in years? And then because WWE announces to their employees today in a memo that there is not going to be any percentage increase in people's salaries, you have these goofs on social media today. The morale in the WWE has not been worse. It's been in years. They're pissed off. They're angry. No salary increases, even though they're making millions. Shut up. Shut up. Most of those people saying that garbage online don't have a job. Don't have a job. If I'm making $100,000 at a company and they say to me, look, this year, we're not doing any automatic pay increase, I'm still making $100,000. We're going to have some fun, too, about the quarter hour ratings, AEW and NXT. Those ratings that came out are pitiful, pathetic. And you've heard me say numerous rants over months that all of these people online sugarcoating it, making excuses, always having some reason as to why things are shitty, they're the ones hurting AEW more than anything else. And, one or two of you on the feedback yesterday said, DT, you talk about these people hurting AEW. How come you don't talk about them hurting NXT? Well, that's because it's run by Vince McMahon and the WWE. And for the most part, they don't listen to any of us. They only listen at the pocketbook. That's all they care about. So it's not like Tony Khan is in, Tony Khan interacts on social media and this and that, and he takes it in and he mingles with this and he socializes with this and he opens the forbidden door, whatever that means. Like I said yesterday, for me, the opening the forbidden door is if my fiance bends over. All right? That's the forbidden door. Did the forbidden door with Kenta equate to ratings? I will tell you in a few moments. But when those ratings came in and they were so shitty from Wednesday, right away, people blamed it on the impeachment hearings. I don't even know what that means. It was opening statements. There is nobody on trial. It was 8 o'clock at night. There was no live footage. You had basically networks just recapping nothing. And they blamed it on that. Just like they blamed it on the day, January 6th, when they stormed the Capitol. And we proved that had zero to do with the ratings being shitty. Should we open up with that? Should we just get it out of the way right now? Let's get that out of the way right now. Why not? Let's get it out of the way. AEW and NXT. I thought that they were going to do a much better number. I liked both shows. It's the lead-in to TakeOver Vengeance Day. AEW, Kenta, Falls Count Anywhere. Oh my God. AEW only did 741,000 viewers. Pathetic. NXT did 558,000 viewers. Pathetic. And you had all these goofs online trying to spew that bullshit that it was all news. Well, you could use this for reference. What I did was I took the cable ratings from a week ago where there was no impeachment hearings. There was no inauguration. There was no Super Bowl. There was no earthquakes, tsunamis, mass shootings, hostages, plane crashes, major celebrity dying. There was nothing last Wednesday. So I said, you know what? They want to blame it on the news. Let's see. Let's look at how many millions of people were tuning into news last Wednesday from 8 to 9 and from 9 to 10, because those are the hours that matter. And then I look at this week. Let's see what the news organizations, how many viewers they got from 8 to 9 p.m. and from 9 to 10 p.m., because that's all that matters, because those are the viewers that are tuning in. And obviously we want to get the average overall number. Well, here you go, everybody. You could throw this in the face of all those goofs out there. On the left is yesterday's rating. AEW was ranked number 21. The week before, AEW was ranked number 3. All those people saying that, the news dominated Wednesday, and that's why AEW's ratings was so bad. You see that top? That is the number of news shows that were in the top 15 for this past Wednesday. Only 3 news shows were in the top 15 this past Wednesday while AEW and NXT were on the air. And I even put little yellow dots next to it. You see that? The week before, you had 4 shows. When they say the news dominated all the spots, look at the times. Just look at the left. When they said, you saw it, and I'm sorry for criticizing some people I like, but you see Meltzer and all these other people that said this. The news dominated 19 of the 20 spots. They're bringing up 5:30 p.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 2 p.m. Look, it's right there in print. Now look at the bottom. On the left, that's the total viewers that were watching news in the top 15 while AEW and NXT is on. Now look at the right. Last week, 1.5 million viewers were tuned into news more during 8 to 9 o'clock compared to AEW and NXT. And when you do the average, when you add 8 to 9 and 9 to 10, last week there were more people watching news in the top 15 than this week. So what are these people talking about? What are these people talking about? Add them up. Add them up. I put yellow dots. Just do simple arithmetic. These people are running out of excuses for the mediocrity. They're running out of excuses. So now let's get into the quarter hours, shall we? NXT is funny. NXT had a piss-poor pathetic number. What's interesting about NXT, and I think this is the first time this has ever happened with NXT, Hour 1 was 558,000 viewers. Hour 2 was also 558,000 viewers. They did not decrease. They maintained. Now, quarter hours obviously fluctuated, but NXT, I think that's a first, where Hour 1 and Hour 2 are the same rating. On the AEW side, Hour 1 was 770,000 viewers, pretty much in line of what they've done before. Hour 2 was 712. Now, they had a ratings drop in the second hour, and what a lot of these goofs don't tell you is that all these news shows, they're 1 hour long. They're not 2 hours long. So it's not like, oh, they decided to tune into Hour 2 of a news show. Nonsense. Garbage. Kiss my grits. Kiss my grits. Now, I feel bad for MSK, but they're still new in NXT, so we give them a little bit of a pass. But do you know the opening quarter Wednesday of MSK versus Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza was the lowest quarter hour that NXT has done since AEW has been on the air? That first quarter, and you can't even say that maybe people fell asleep and left the USA Network on. Could you imagine if some people did? Because that happens a lot with shows. People go in the other room, and then the new show goes, oh no, I forgot to change the channel. That first quarter only scored 499,000 viewers. MSK versus Legado del Fantasma only did 499. That feels like when you go to a dollar store and you want to buy like detergent and it's like $4.99. It's so low, you know that it's a cheap number. Something's up. All right, so we got $4.99 open NXT. Quarter Hour 2, which was the segment on Mercedes Martinez, Xia Li beating the crap out of Cora Jade, and Scarlett getting the match, convincing William Regal to have Karrion Kross versus Santos Escobar next week on NXT. That rating increased only 55,000 viewers to 554,000. Quarter 3, which was Johnny Gargano and The Way, and Gargano claiming injury and then Kushida attacking him, that quarter hour only increased 32,000 viewers to 586. So you do see a slight, what you will get out of the 2 hours of NXT is that they had a little increase and then they pretty much stood there. This is pretty much what happened to NXT Wednesday night. So quarter 1, 499. Quarter 2, they went up 55,000 viewers. Quarter 3, they went up 32,000 viewers. The fourth quarter, which was Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, I'm surprised. That rating only went up 5,000 viewers to 591. What's up, Bryan M? Santos Escobar, the interview, and then having Legado del Fantasma laid out in the back and Karrion Kross warning Santos Escobar of next week. That plus the hype of Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne at TakeOver, that rating dropped 5,000 viewers. So once again, we got to be honest. You know, got to give it more time. But 80% of the quarter hours that Karrion Kross has been in since he's been on television, the ratings went down. Not by much. And this goes to show you that it really depends on the opponent, too. Santos Escobar, with all due respect, and we brought this up before, does not get any big ratings spikes. So, you know, you look at Karrion Kross, and I think it's more of the opponent than actually the person. I'm not making excuses. We tell it like it is. So, quarter 6, which is Kushida versus Austin Theory, that rating dropped 25,000 viewers to 561. Quarter 7, which was that video hyping Imperium, Cameron Grimes in the ring, kiss my grits, I bet on dog stock. And then Johnny Gargano's promo for the Sunday, that rating dropped another 13,000 viewers. And then the main event, Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa versus the grizzled young veterans, which I have been talking about for 7 or 8 months now, that they pop squat. Their quarter-hour ratings are some of the lowest consistently, period. No way to sugarcoat that. You could put them up against Jesus Christ and Satan, and I don't think they would pop a number. That main event actually went down another 12,000 viewers to 536,000. So if you now recap hour 1, hour 2, this is what we got. 558 is the average, remember? 499, 554, 586, 591, 586, 561, 548, 536. So they went up, they went down. Almost like a penis during sex. It went up, and it slowly went down. That is your rating for NXT this past Wednesday. Now, drum roll, please. People want to know what happened with AEW and Kenta, the Forbidden Wall. They knocked down the Forbidden Wall. You people are nuts. I muted it so you didn't have to hear that. All right, AEW. As you notice, I'm flying through this. I didn't get much sleep yesterday. We had an awesome show. I don't complain. But tonight I'm getting a good night's sleep. AEW, hour 1, 770,000 viewers. Not bad. Hour 2, 712,000 viewers. Hour 2 is lower than hour 1 for a composite of 741. The opening match, Darby Allin versus Joey Janela, or as Jim Cornette says, Joey Nutella. That opened up with an outstanding 860,000 viewers. Excellent. 860. News coverage, 860. What are you trying to say? If there wasn't this news coverage of the trial, they would have done 1 million? I don't think so. Quarter 2. Remember what I've been saying about the Inner Circle? Remember what I've been saying about Moxley? Quarter 2, Jon Moxley's promo about Kenta. MJF and Sammy Guevara having that little spat in the back. And in the very beginning, the introductions of Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson versus Peter Avalon, Duck Lips Avalon, and Cesar Bononi. That quarter hour dropped 124,000 viewers. I actually had to double check to see if that was wrong. 124,000 viewers. That match of Cody and Lee Johnson versus Duckface Avalon and Cesar Bononi, and then you had the backstage segment with the Young Bucks and Gallows and Anderson. They announced Young Bucks was going to take on Santana and Ortiz next week. That only increased 5,000 viewers. That is very rare to see Cody in a match with pretty much no gain. Cody, and I tell it like it is, Cody is one of the very, very few that no matter who he is on TV with, increases a rating and usually spikes it. So this is rare to see Cody on TV and not have much of an impact with ratings. Okay? So now we got quarter 4, which was the recap of the wedding from last week. The Inner Circle, their promo, and then basically the introductions of Chris Jericho and MJF versus The Acclaimed. That rating increased 59,000 viewers, but that was the very beginning of the match. The majority of the match, and then Sammy Guevara quitting the Inner Circle, and Team Taz dragging Darby Allin and Sting walking to the back quite like nonchalant. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? They sped away in a truck with him dragging on the floor. What are you going to do going in the back? Get a Coke? Get a soda? That rating went down 41,000 viewers to 780. Excuse me, to 739. My mistake. Quarter 6, which was the segment of Kenny Omega golfing, and then Thunder Rosa versus Layla Hirsch, that rating dropped another 16,000 viewers to 723,000. Now we get the main event. Falls Count Anywhere. Jon Moxley and Lance Archer versus Kenny Omega and Kenta. The Forbidden Wall. The Forbidden Wall. Quarter 7, which was the first half of that match, scored 700,000 viewers, which is a 23,000 drop in the rating. The main event, Jon Moxley and Lance Archer versus Kenny Omega and Kenta, and everything that transpired, that last quarter dropped another 14,000 viewers to 686. So they lost almost 40,000 viewers during that match. Explain that to me. Explain it to me. I mean, news, if you're going to check out the impeachment hearings, they're not going to save it until, it's not like a wrestling show. They save it until the last 5 minutes, that they hype you up for 55 minutes. And in the last 5 minutes, that's when they explode in your face, where they're going to reveal all this crazy news shit. That's not how it works. So now let's recap it. 741 is the average. You ready? 860, 716, 721, 780, 739, 723, 700, 688. As hour 2 went, so did the viewers. Yeah. So I'm looking at some of the feedback over there. So those are your quarter hour ratings. So we're 1/3 of the show done. How long have we been going so far? About 30 minutes. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. By the way, big shout out to everybody who is live. You know me, as I always tell all of you, if you're enjoying the show, you'll help us out greatly if you give it a thumbs up. That tells YouTube that you're enjoying the show. You recommend it to others. So hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And for all my new members, I'm going to be posting some updates this week, and we're going to do some stuff next week. Ding, ding, ding. One more time. Hit that like button, everybody. I know for the people on audio only, like, what are these bells that I'm listening to? I like the graphics, so I want to share. By the way, no Freddie tonight. A lot of you were hoping that, my bird Freddie would make an appearance. As you can see, he's an Italian African gray. He likes to eat. That is a meatball. But I will not have him until tomorrow. So, so maybe Freddie will make an appearance Monday for a little while. So now we talk about Smackdown, and then we finish up with predictions for this Sunday's NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. I will be here right after the pay-per-view to give you a recap. We're not doing a watch-along. Watch-along means then the show would be 2.5 to 3 hours. Too much for an NXT. I'm not trying to diminish Takeover, but the reality is that only a small percentage of WWE fans actually watch NXT, so it's not everybody out there is gonna tune in. So it reflects even the numbers later on when I look back. No, not a lot of people tune in, because not a lot of people tune in for NXT or even AEW. So SmackDown tonight, like I said, easy watching. Really easy watching show. And most of what I'm going to tell you, I don't even need to look at notes. I'm just looking for reference to make sure I don't leave any matches out. But SmackDown opens up today. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Paul Heyman. They're keeping the storyline with Edge alive. As we talked about on Monday, Edge and Bianca Belair, they bought 2 weeks of teasing. And when we get to Bianca Belair, there may be an added twist to lead up to her versus Sasha Banks. Look, it's already done, pretty much a done deal. Edge versus Roman Reigns, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. I wish they would do Edge versus Finn Balor. I know NXT's ratings are kind of shitty, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling Roman Reigns and Edge, and I got that fear that Roman Reigns is going to end up beating the balls out of Christian, and that is going to bait Edge to take the match for WrestleMania. I think Edge is going to, act like he's not sure, he's thinking about it, or he may say no entirely. That's going to piss off Roman Reigns. You think about it in storyline. Why is Roman Reigns so obsessed with facing Edge at WrestleMania? Think about that for a minute. If you think of the storyline, Roman Reigns, what's his infatuation with Edge? That's what they're going to try to do. Darren says, to hell with NXT, it's WrestleMania. I get it. But just because it's WrestleMania doesn't mean that you just put matches together to simply put them together. So anyway, Roman Reigns comes out. He's pissed off. Adam Pearce is out there already. And Adam Pearce, it seems like early on, it's kind of teasing that Roman Reigns, like Drew McIntyre, will have to defend his championship in the Elimination Chamber. Paul Heyman says in the contract, and this is where, like I say, I'm a stickler to detail. I think a lot of what you see on TV is laziness. Point blank, pure laziness. Adam Pearce, think about the storyline. Adam Pearce says, or leading, that Roman Reigns defends the championship in the Elimination Chamber. Paul Heyman says in the contract, it says that Roman Reigns does not have to compete in the Elimination Chamber. What happened to this fucking storyline for the last couple of weeks? Card subject to change. Why didn't Adam Pearce just take out the contract and change it? And by the way, when you negotiate a contract, how do you negotiate pay-per-views in advance when you don't even know? It's laziness. There was something else tonight that really pissed me off. It was so small, I have a feeling most of you out there didn't even think about this. I'll tell you in a moment. But anyway, so basically what it ends up being is that Roman Reigns is going to defend his title at Elimination Chamber, but instead there'll be a chamber match featuring Smackdown wrestlers. And those 6 wrestlers, whoever is the winner, will then go on to face Roman Reigns for the title. So what'll probably happen is, as soon as the chamber is over, it'll probably be the opening match on the pay-per-view now to basically set it up for later on. Unless they lift the chamber back up and, Roman Reigns has the match right after, which I just don't see happening. And Adam Pearce reveals that 2 names are already qualified for the chamber: Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. Okay. Whatever. Not really complaining all that much about it. Roman Reigns is pissed off about Kevin Owens still lingering after all of this. But again, you look at Roman Reigns' entire championship reign. Has there ever been a point on his current reign that you felt that he was losing that title? Doesn't bother me, because all the matches and the feuds have been spectacular. But when you actually break it down, we're wondering, obviously we're curious who will end up winning the chamber, but whoever that is, the story they're going to play out is this person just went through hell in the Elimination Chamber. Now they got to take on a fresh Roman Reigns. And when that person loses, they'll blame a lot of it on the abuse taken in the chamber. And we'll see if it's Daniel Bryan. Opening match tonight. This was to determine 2 of the remaining 4 slots in the Elimination Chamber. Dominik Mysterio and Rey Mysterio. They lose to Sami Zayn and King Corbin. I got a kick out of Sami Zayn before the match, talking about how WWE wants Rey in the chamber, or Dominik too, for the Latino demographic and this and that. Lewis says, why would the winner of the chamber face Roman Reigns? Because that's what WWE wants to do. That's what WWE wants to do. Just think about the stupidity of this. Adam Pearce, 3 weeks ago, card subject to change. It's not in the contract that Roman Reigns has to defend the chamber, in the chamber. So why doesn't Adam Pearce just change that? It's in the contract that he fights at the Elimination Chamber, but not actually in the chamber. So they go along with that. It's just, we're not supposed to go that deep into storylines. That's the reason why they're doing it. This is just to get through Elimination Chamber so Roman Reigns could be on the road to WrestleMania. Right now, I just want to see if they announce that Christian is going to be wrestling on SmackDown in the very near future. If Christian ends up wrestling on SmackDown, I know some of you out there would like to see him face Big E once because of Christian's last match was the #1 contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. And that's before he abruptly had to retire. So a lot of people feel, hey, he's, owed a title shot. And I wouldn't be surprised, since Big E is doing this storyline of open challenges, I think Christian's music is going to hit. Might happen next week. Might happen the week after. Personally, I think you wait until after Elimination Chamber. I think Big E may defend the IC title at the Chamber against Shinsuke Nakamura and Apollo Crews. Get through the Chamber, and then the following week, Big E issues his open challenge again. Christian's music hits. Roman Reigns is seen in the back watching this, and then ultimately, I think Roman Reigns takes out Christian, and that forces Edge to want to destroy Roman Reigns. That's where I see it going. I'm not saying that would end up happening, but you know what? We get Christian to get his title shot that a lot of people want to see. He gets to return, but it'll be short-lived because Roman Reigns will destroy him. Christian versus Daniel Bryan. That would be nice too. Those are nice fantasy matches. Throw a little chat room on the screen. Shout out to everybody once again live. Much love. Hope your Friday is well for you and enjoy the weekend. So King Corbin and Sami Zayn, they beat the Mysterios. Fun match. I mean, I personally didn't think that Dominik and Rey were going to be in the chamber, although some people out there actually think that Rey Mysterio versus Roman Reigns is a possible match in the future. Early on in the match, it was back and forth. Rey and Dominik hit the double 619 on King Corbin, but Sami Zayn with the haluva kick, and they get the win. They advance. So now King Corbin and Sami Zayn are in the chamber too. Okay? No complaints. We have Sonya Deville in the back. She's impressed with the decision-making of Adam Pearce. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode enter. They think that they should get a shot in the chamber as well. So the main event match tonight is Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, who are still the tag champs, by the way. They're going to take on Cesaro and Daniel Bryan for the last two spots in the chamber. We get more abuse towards Reginald. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, embarrassing him. He is the fall boy or fall guy with some of these segments, people just embarrassing him. They show a little bit of last week with Bianca Belair slapping him a little bit. Reginald approached Sasha Banks again, gives her a glass of champagne, and she takes the glass. She's hanging out with Kalisto. Reginald walks off. Blah. Blah. That's what I have to say to it. Apollo Crews, some people think that he's now in line for a huge push. I'm not so sure. I think what has transpired with Apollo Crews the last 2 or 3 weeks is to set up the Elimination Chamber match, which is in 2 weeks. So you got to keep it alive. Next week, probably be announced. What happens is Big E is out there. Big E cuts a promo about his reign and, defending the title. What's up with Reginald's hairline? It's his hairline. Trust me. I have to do a little bit of styling sometimes to make my hair kind of look, full. I got a haircut today. It's very, very thin right now. But, and if you look close, you could actually kind of see. It's a little of a mess. So anyway, Apollo Crews comes out, interrupts Big E's music. Apollo Crews says that he should get a shot. They got back and forth, and for a couple of moments, you hear what it actually sounds like in the building when they're in the ring. A lot of people think that those really loud cheers and chants and this and that are echoing throughout the building. No, they hear a very, very light part of it so they can react appropriately. When they pipe in the yes chants, if you can't hear it in the building at all, it might be out of sync. It might be yes, yes, yes. You see what I mean? So they pipe it very light. But then on TV, we hear it full blown. That's why Bayley a couple of weeks ago heard everything that Michael Cole said, even though the crowd was loud. Apollo Crews feels he's deserving of a shot. Big E tells him to go back to catering. Big E is waiting for his open challenge. It's Nakamura. Fun match while it lasted, but Apollo Crews hits the ring. Big E was about to hit the big ending on Nakamura. Apollo Crews with the drop kick. If I'm pissed off and I want to attack the champion, drop kick probably would not be one of my choices. Even if it was my goddamn finisher, a drop kick. That's why in storyline, you don't get much of a push. That was But some people a little concerned now. Wait a minute. Why is it Nakamura in the chamber? I agree, but I say wait, because I have a feeling we're going to see Nakamura versus Apollo Crews versus Big E for the IC title at Elimination Chamber. But it was a fun match while it lasted. No complaints. Notice how Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman don't give him any advice anymore. They've totally separated from that storyline, WWE. Seth Rollins returns. He's got a vision for Smackdown. The roster is around ringside. Here's where I got pissed off. Remember when I said earlier about lazy booking? Seth Rollins is in the ring. Nice to see Seth Rollins back. Had no problem with his promo. I actually think Seth Rollins did fine tonight. I like Seth Rollins. It's very easy, crack jokes at this guy, getting laughs and this and that, because some people don't like him. Me, I like the guy. I think what he said tonight was fine. The whole idea of the story was that Seth Rollins was selling something that people weren't interested in. And what happened was the roster is around ringside. Seth Rollins actually brings up how he's a new father and, he brings up his vision. And then little by little, you see the roster walk to the back. They've heard enough. They're not interested. So, Don Tony, what pissed you off about this? I'm getting to it. Cesaro is the last one at ringside. I wonder if anybody in the chat, and I have the chat on the screen right now, so I'll give props if anybody could figure out why I was pissed off. I actually tweeted it for a second. Then I deleted it, and I'm like, I saved my comments on the show. I'm not going to do these one-liner insult tweets just to get, 5 likes and tweet fucked? No. I want to see if anybody figures out why I was pissed off about that segment. No, not Murphy. Nothing about Murphy. But anyway, so little by little, everybody's walking off. Michael got it. Michael got it. Stay tuned, everybody. Michael got it. Cesaro is the last one there. Seth Rollins thinks that Cesaro is listening. Cesaro likes what Seth Rollins is offering, thinks that Cesaro is going to join him. And then Cesaro was like, no. And Cesaro starts walking off. Rollins gets completely triggered, attacks Cesaro from behind. I guess this kind of sets up a feud with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Cool. I'm fine with that. Nice way to shift from the Mysterio storyline. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. If anyone out there that is going to read goofs online ripping about that, just go check a little bit of history before they went to WWE. That's all I'm saying. But what pissed me off about that segment, please, I understand this is not the storyline anymore at the moment. Why in the blue fuck was Dominik Mysterio at ringside, standing there watching Rollins, contemplating if Rollins offer? Think about that whole storyline. And the WWE creative actually tells Dominik, go to the ring. You watch when he walks off. He walks off like, I'm not interested in what he's selling. Motherfucker, think of this storyline with a clear head. That's like if, I don't know, I was dating someone and they cheated on me with some asshole, and then I go to a supermarket and this asshole is actually like, trying to sell cheese and everything, and I walk over there and I'm like, no, I don't like that cheese. No, I mean, I'm not going anywhere near that fucking counter, or I'm going to shove the cheese up his ass. Dominik actually, go back and watch it. Watch Dominik walk off. That's laziness on WWE's part. That's freaking laziness. That's pathetic. That's just pathetic. Bayley beats Liv Morgan. I mean, I like that they're trying to do something with Billie Kay, but don't make her seem like even more brain dead than Riddle's character. You have Liv Morgan having a match, and she's got Ruby Riott at ringside watching the match. Liv Morgan is fighting Bayley, and then towards the very end of the match, here comes Billie Kay to Ruby Riott. Look at my promo photos. Look at my promo photos. Look at, and like, you have Ruby Riott's like, this is not the time. I didn't have that prepared, by the way. I just looked and I saw ripped up paper. She's like, this is not the time. I mean, I'm trying to avoid really, really insulting words. I don't want to say the R word anymore, but is Billie Kay like stoned now? Is she an airhead? Is she a moron? It's not even like a storyline. Like coming out there with promo photos at the very end of a match, it's just stupid. It was stupid. And why does Liv Morgan in storyline care? Billie Kay is showing her partner a promo photo. I could see if Billie Kay attacked Ruby Riott at ringside, Liv Morgan got distracted, Bayley hits a finisher, match over. But she's showing her a goddamn picture, and Liv Morgan Liv Morgan is just as brain dead as far as the character as Billie Kay. Why are you showing my partner a photo? That's what it feels like. It's so stupid, man. Awful. That was awful. Bayley wins. Move on. Street Profits beating Otis and Chad Gable. Fun match. We got to see Otis, doing, his signature caterpillar on Angelo Dawkins. But in the end, Dawkins hit the spine buster on Chad Gable. Montez Ford with, for me, my favorite looking frog splash right now amongst anybody who does the frog splash in wrestling. Love his height, his aerial, and it's a lot of fun to watch. But as you're watching that match, you say to yourself, I mean, look at what the Street Profits have done this last 6 months. It just feels like the Forgotten Prophets. The Forgotten Prophets. I mean, I understand, some of the circumstances around it, but man, it feels like they don't know what to do with these guys right now. They're not going for tag titles. I mean, they had a fun match with Chad Gable and Otis, but even that match, like, where does this go with Otis and Chad Gable? They feel like enhancement talent that's clicking. Forgotten solo cups, yes. But it was a fun match. I mean, I'm not going to complain. It was a fun match. My question is, okay, what next for those two teams? What next? Are they going to train Daniel Bryan in the chamber so Daniel Bryan's hips are all ready to go? I mean, that's probably what we're going to see. More skits. Skits. No Lewis. The host of Smackdown. Got to be more than that. Definitely need to be more than that. So, what happened, DX girl? I thought you were talking about an individual that is over here. Oh my God, she's got COVID. Oh man, best wishes to you. Seriously, you know, you're a very young girl, and you appear to be a very strong woman. And I'm not just saying that to kiss up. You take the doctor's orders. Make sure you listen to everything doctor tells you, and you got to wait it out. There are a lot of people out there that are very impatient and try to take shortcuts or feel that they're strong enough to, I've always used, you hear me bring up phrases. Yesterday, the phrase I brought up is, if you play, you must pay. You want to be a podcaster, you want to have a website, you want to do a show, audio or video. If you play, you must pay. And, the people that refuse to pay in order to play, then they just sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else play. Another phrase that I live by is, a half-assed job takes twice as long. I know I'm kind of like turning into the Yogi Berra of podcasters, but it's true. A half-fast job takes twice as long. If you try to take shortcuts, all you're going to do is fall back, and you almost will need to start all over again. Rest, take whatever you have to take, and be careful with the people around you. The last thing you want to do is give it to someone else. So my prayers are with you and everyone out there as well. I'm not just saying it. I mean, you could see everybody showing love. And that's what I love about this show. I mean, everybody hanging out, showing a little bit of love. COVID or not. Marky says it's hard to watch wrestling sometimes if things don't make any sense. I don't mind sometimes if things don't make sense, as long as there's a bigger picture involved. Like, you see, like Moxley's going to fight on AEW Dark this week. I personally think it's just to get a little kinks out of his system. I don't see any problem with that at all. Some people are making a big thing out of it, like, oh my God, this is what they have Moxley doing on a Dark. It's one fucking night. There's a bigger picture with Moxley and AEW. So I don't have a problem with that. But if you're going to just throw matches on TV and you say to yourself, okay, what's next for these guys? Where does this lead? And then you realize that the pointless match will lead to another pointless match. And that'll lead to another pointless match. And the next thing you know, 2-3 months go by and there's nothing but pointless matches. So, main event tonight, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro. They defeat Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler. It was a fun match. I don't think you got to remember Elimination Chamber. You got to think of who fits better in the chamber. And I'm not talking physically. Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, they're tag champs. Some tag team should be feuding with them for the belt. I'm going to get to the Nia segment. I didn't forget about that, by the way. I don't want before anybody says anything. But the main event tonight, you say to yourself, okay, should Roode and Ziggler be in the chamber, or should it be Daniel Bryan and Cesaro? As soon as you realize that, you know what the outcome is going to be tonight. Fun match. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan win. Cesaro with the sharpshooter. And, the match was fine. Typical SmackDown main event. After the match is over, everybody who's in the chamber is out fighting. Sami Zayn comes out. King Corbin comes out. They're beating on everybody. They're beating each other. And then Kevin Owens' music hits. Stunner, 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 stunner. Beard grown out a little bit more. Some grays showing as well. Roman Reigns is seen in the back sitting on a love seat, nice comfy chair, not thrilled at what he's seeing. Paul Heyman behind him, and Kevin Owens basically telling Roman Reigns that I'm not going anywhere. And that's how we go off the air with SmackDown. So we now know the participants in the Elimination Chamber: Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro. One of those men will win the Chamber and then face Roman Reigns on the pay-per-view for the title. Like I said, tonight's show was very easygoing. Not too much to ingest. Didn't even really need to spend too much time on notes. But it was a fun show. I honestly, other than maybe 2-3 little issues that I talked about, I thought overall it was a fun show. Now, the reason why I left out the Bianca, Sasha, Nia, and Shayna segment is this. Chat room, thumbs up or thumbs down? No, not the show. Don't hit the like or dislike button. I mean, type it in the chat. Would you be fine in Sasha Banks? Well, think about this. The winner of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on the women's side will get a future title shot for the WWE Tag titles. One-shot deal. Be a main event on NXT, on a particular night to go up against AEW. You think of the tag teams on Raw. You think of the tag teams on SmackDown. And my question to you is, are you happy or fine with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair winning those tag titles from Nia and Shayna only to advance the storyline between the two of them? Sasha Banks is going to take on Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Do you want to see, because WWE has done that before, that two people that could ultimately feud with each other for a championship title, they win tag titles first, and they're kind of a cohesive unit until they lose the tag titles, and then there's the falling out, and it leads to what it leads. Okay. See, what I love about this show is that there is no wrong answers. Whether you like it or you don't like it, there is no wrong answers. But as everybody could see, just what you see on the video right now, about 90% of you are giving it a thumbs down. Not that you have anything against Sasha and Bianca winning those tag belts. It's not needed. It's not needed in this storyline. Bianca Belair is the EST. Sasha Banks is the goddamn boss. They're both confident. They're both conceited. That's all you need. You don't need two people win the titles, lose the titles, blame each other, and then they fight and they anger with each other so much that they got to fight at WrestleMania. It's not needed. Their characters are strong enough. I know it sounds a little childish, but I'm the EST. I'm the boss. I'm the best. No, I'm the best. I'm the BEST. I am the BOSS. I am JEFFJARRE. You see where I'm going. They're both top of their game. You don't need the subplot of winning titles and then losing them and then having angst against each other. I hope they don't do that. There's no reason. You mean to tell me of all, and by the way, what happened to the idea of Lana and Naomi taking on Shayna and Nia at Elimination Chamber? That was the whole reason why Naomi and Lana won individual matches Monday, because if they could win individually, then they could win collectively and they fight for the tag titles. Why even do that? There's no need to even tease it. Now, for those that didn't see SmackDown, this is pretty much what happened. Sasha Banks is in the ring, and all I kept thinking about, not how great she's doing, not how beautiful she looks, not how sexy her body is, but I was waiting for one of those, that fake laugh that she does. We got almost when she was talking to Reginald. It almost felt like she was, no, not this week. But she's in the ring, and she's talking about herself. She brings up Bianca. Bianca's music hits immediately. They're having a little bit of a verbal back and forth. They like each other. I think Sasha said that Bianca is her big little sister that she never had or something like that. But as they're doing their thing, Nia's music hits. Nia and Shayna come out. And they're poking fun at Sasha and Bianca Belair. And it shouldn't be like, who is Bianca going to face? It should be about them. Well, you knew what was coming. Somehow Sasha and Bianca already knew that Nia and Shayna were coming out. So they had a segment already queued up, ready to go. Think about that stupidity. That's lazy booking as well. They're in the ring. They were interrupted by Nia and Shayna. What are you doing here? Oh, by the way, we had a video clip queued up. Just in case. Did you have video clips queued up in case Victoria showed up? Do you have video clips queued up in case Dana and Mandy Rose? Mandy. I'm still laughing at what happened on Monday. But I brought this up on Patreon. This is like Beavis and Butthead shit. You said hole. I mean, all right. Nia, she yelled on Monday, my hole. And then, I know it's getting played out, but you take Ali, eat. Retribution, eat. It's time for you to eat. Eat. My hole. Eat. My hole. Now, I'm doing it for a third show in a row. I'm sorry. I have to do it on Monday as well. But some of you tried to be funny. That's why you got it 3 shows in a row. Monday, when I was doing the show at Mish, we were talking about the segment with Ali, having a little fun with it. And Mish started playing the actual audio of what Ali said. And it hit me after like a second or two, and I was like, no, blah, 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 blah. And I was yelling over the audio because I don't want to get hit with copyright claims from WWE or anybody. So, Mish didn't know why I was doing that, and I said that, and Mish is like, no, you could play a few seconds. And I'm like, no, you can't. You get hit with a copyright. Well, I don't think that's true. Now, that's all it was. And yes, Mish got a little annoyed at me, and I agree. But some of you out there, because you feel that the real life friction is more entertaining than the storylines on TV. I've been saying that since 1997. Boy, do some of you out there want me to belittle some of my former co-hosts and stir up the pot and start. No, it ain't happening. But for those out there that thought that, DT, you might have overreacted on Monday, that wouldn't happen. Well, it didn't happen on YouTube, but it did happen on Facebook. The show aired live on Facebook. And do you know, for that 3 seconds of Ali audio from Monday, they put in a claim. Now, this is an example that if you're nice, sometimes people will let it go. Now, a lot of other podcasts out there would have immediately went on Twitter and said, motherfucker WWE, all I had was 3 seconds of audio, and these people, these son of a bitches, they have nothing better to do but try to shut my shit down in their trademark claim. No, you know what I did? I appealed it, and I said, look, I'm very sorry that we're still new to doing video. We did not realize that even a couple of seconds of audio could be claimed. If you want me to take the clip down, I will. If you want me to take out the sound, I will. I'm very sorry. Please let me know. I got an email a couple of hours later. WWE said pretty much, don't worry about it. They let it go. They let it go. And it's not the first time, because when I did the history shows, I had tons of people out there. How come like these feds are not like trying to like pull your shit down? Well, I've been doing this since 1997, and I've given my share of business and plugs, and I'm pretty straight in the middle of how I say things. Darren is like, Darren knows me better. Darren thinks that I went on email like, please don't screw up my channel. Please, I just started. I really need to show up the haters by having, please don't do it. I thought about it. I know, right? How nice of WWE. Thank you, WWE, for letting me keep 3 seconds of audio. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is kind of petty that they did that. Personally, I think it's just algorithms. I think WWE sends audio to their social media networks, and if any of it matches up, that's how you get flagged. I don't think somebody at WWE was sitting in the back in their headquarters, not getting a pay raise, and saying like, aha, no, that naughty DT, naughty Mish. I think it's algorithms. That's what I think it is. It's the bots. It's the bots. So for everyone out there that thought I overreacted on Monday, I didn't overreact. I don't like overreacting. So, getting back to Sasha and Bianca, Nia and Shayna. Somehow they had the video queued up, ready to go. Nia is like, don't play it. Sasha, don't play it. Don't you dare. On the screen. My hole, my butt, my hole. You said hole. The batteries are dead. It's supposed to say like 30 phrases. When the batteries are dead, it sounds like an X-rated video. If you listen to it closely, it sounds like he just keeps saying, come, come, look. But that's what it's, I mean, look, the whole thing is funny, but people out there are taking it to a whole nother, you said hole, And that's what is now on TV. So Nia and Shayna get pissed off. They start beating on Bianca and Sasha. They get the upper hand. The heels leave the ring. Sasha and Bianca have the titles in the air. And a lot of us are like, not needed. Not necessary. You know what I think's going to happen? This is what I think's going to happen. I think next Friday, you will have Nia and Shayna versus Bianca and Sasha for the tag titles. I do not think that they will win. I also think that they may have the match at Elimination Chamber, Lana and Naomi versus Nia and Shayna. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, how do you do both? They may be forced to either not announce Lana and Naomi versus Nia and Shayna until the day of the pay-per-view. They may do that. They may not announce nothing. The day of the pay-per-view, oh, look, pre-show match. That's what I think could happen. I get a feeling that if they're not going to go the route of the tag belts, that is going to be your main event next week, which is stupid. It should not be the main event. The ending should be the lead-in to the Elimination Chamber, not Sasha and Bianca. So we will see. We will see. Yeah. So anyway, TV Tracks. Wait, whoa. TV Tracks in the house. What do you mean TV Tracks in the TV Tracks hasn't been around in ages. TV Tracks is not around anymore. Greg, I think you're wrong, man. Greg LaChance. Last chance. No chance. No chance in hell. Card is subject to Lana. Yeah. And I know some people were telling me that we all know Lana's name spelled backwards, what that is, but I never thought of Naomi's as well. You know, spell Naomi's name backwards and spell Lana's name backwards, and some people think that that's why they're a tag team. I mean, I don't think it goes that deep, but anyway. No, Lewis, what happened to TV Tracks? Honestly, my honest opinion, what I think happened, TV Tracks, for those that don't know, and I'll be very quick with this, then we'll get into predictions and then we're done. Easy night tonight. See, sometimes I don't lie. Believe me, I tell you, when I tell everybody before shows it's going to be an early night, I really go into the show wanting to be an early night. We get into some great convo. We get sidetracked sometimes, and then next thing you know, another half hour goes by. But as long as we're having fun, I usually don't mind it. But tonight, definitely need to get a little extra sleep. I've got to play catch up from this week. This week was Tom Cole. Who is Tom Cole? Why does that name Tom Cole ring a bell? I don't know who Tom Cole is. Yes. All right, for those that cannot spell backwards, Naomi spelled backwards is I moan. I moan. Oh, I moan. Not I moan like a first name. I moan as in I moan. I moan anal. So, quick story on TV Tracks. TV Tracks was a channel that used to put lots of clips of the shows I did, whether it's DTKC, Breakfast with Blassie, he would put clips up, and he would also do it for Jason Solomonster. He would do it for others. And this guy would listen to 20, 30, 40 hours of podcasts a week, listen to them, grab the clips he thought were interesting, and put it on his channel. And he made all the money on it. Now, he did join my Patreon and, contributed to the Patreon channel very generously. So I have no problem with what he did. But back in the day, there was all of that where YouTube was pulling advertising from wrestling shows and wrestling feds. And at that time, that's when you realized that some even podcasts out there, they put all their money into YouTube. They didn't have plastic. They didn't contribute their own money. If you play, you must pay. And the minute ad revenue got pulled, you saw a lot of podcasts shut down. You saw a lot of wrestling companies, tiny little indie groups, shut down. And in the case of TV Tracks, when they pulled all that advertising revenue, why would you spend 40, 50 hours a week listening to shows and putting up clips if you're getting no money in return? Devin M., what's going on, my friend? Devin M., what's up? Yeah, we're having a great show, man. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, showing some love. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, for those that may not have tuned in last night, for everybody who contributed last week, specifically for my dad, I was going to get him a fruit basket until 2 giant fruit baskets arrived at his house. My father, there's only so much fruit he can eat. So I know some of you don't like this particular person, but there is a woman who used to be a judge. She's from New York. Yes, she's on Fox News. Her name is Judge Janine Pirro. My father likes her. My father's met her. Judge Janine, I hired her to do a cameo. And not only is she doing a cameo, she's going one step further. I don't want to say what it is until I actually see it with my own eyes. But so that is in the works for my dad right now. Whatever was left over, we're going to get an additional basket, but I might get some like Italian pastries or something like that. So, and everybody's name will be on the card. I will post it. Everybody will see it. Your name will be there. So, but yeah, with TV Tracks, who is going to spend 20, 30, 40, 50 hours listening to shows, splicing clips, putting it online, throwing logos, and make nothing in return? And that's what happened. That's what I truly believe happened, because within 2 weeks of YouTube pulling all that ad revenue, he contacted me privately and he's like, look, I got to take some time off. I don't know when I'll be back. And I truthfully felt at that moment he was gone because of the ad revenue. The interesting thing about it is that the ad revenue is back. It's not what it used to be. Some people here don't understand. The super chats obviously are wonderful and it keeps everything going. But even if I did have commercials playing through the shows, if you notice, there's no commercials during my shows here. Maybe if one at the beginning or one at the very end, that is it. But even if I had commercials playing every 20 minutes on the shows here, I might make $3, $5. Oh my God, I might actually be able to buy 2 slices of pizza. That's truly what it is. So, especially for TV tracks, to do that amount of work to get back this much in return, I wouldn't do that. And I think that's why he's gone. I think the same for Epic Sports. Epic Sports just got up and disappeared one day. I never met them. I don't know what they look like. I never spoke to them before. So I don't know who they were. You know, I still feel to this day, if people out there, no matter who it is, they can't show you their face. Something's odd about that. You know, like if you're the Alexa Bliss stalker, you don't want to show your face because it might be on a wanted map, you know, all throughout Florida and beyond. That's different. But, you know, you have a footprint online and some exposure, and you want, even like these websites, those news sites that we rip apart, you get one person here and there like Steve Carey and others that actually do have the balls to show their face. That's why I always give them a little credit. But you see all these other people that hide behind the website name. And you see sometimes the wrestlers getting upset. Deonna Purrazzo got really pissed off at one of these websites last week because they were saying that Steve Cutler got fired because of COVID, which was bullshit. We already talked about that twice. She doesn't know who she could say fuck you to because they hide behind a general name. Who is behind the channel? You don't know. And like I said, I just can't picture these people giggling at each other. Hey, we triggered Deonna Purrazzo. Like, what do? Flex in front of a mirror? Yeah, a lot of you out there found out about my work because of TV Tracks. TV Tracks, honestly, was really, really good people. Even though, like I said, I didn't know anything about the person, didn't know his real name, never saw his face, never heard from him, never talked to him verbally, you know, which was always a little odd. But he still, you know, pushed the shows and didn't ask for anything in return. In fact, he was very respectful from day one. He came to me and he's like, dude, do you mind if I put these clips on YouTube? And at that time, the shows that I did had no YouTube presence at all. Zero. And I was like, yeah, man, have fun. Go for it. And I always said to others out there, if people wanted to have a clip up, at least ask me. And, you know, you saw some people try to take advantage of it, and I had a lot of channels shut down. I didn't realize that if you claim 3 or 4 videos, that could kill somebody's channel because it's 3, 4 copyright claims. But right now, I don't like anybody posting my stuff. And, you know, if you ask, and, you know, it's not a big deal to me. But if you're going to just throw shit up there and try to run a channel and try to get ad revenue simply for, trust me when I tell you, nothing personal, but you will see copyright claims. And they will flood in because I use a form and I'll post 10, 20 videos at the same time. Claim, done, channel fried. So, Michael, I don't know what's going to happen with that stalker. I don't know. But we had I don't want to call it a fun conversation, but yesterday we explained why these goofs that said that they revealed who he is, and basically all they did was find an older social media account that you have no idea if that name is real, and they're like, no, that's real. These people are out of their mind, out of their goddamn mind. So anyway, let's finish up the show. We're at about an hour and 20 minutes. Freaking phenomenal, man. We're finishing 90 minutes tonight. Awesome. Don't forget, in 48 hours, I will be here with your NXT Takeover recap. For those on Patreon, I am doing an episode of blah, blah, blah Sunday morning. So just go on to Patreon, patreon.com/Don Tony if anybody wants to check it out. You'll see the info that I posted Sunday morning. I'll be doing it. I won't be doing it live. I'll be getting up early, having a cup of coffee, and doing the show for everybody. So NXT Takeover, Vengeance Day. I know it's Valentine's Day. Why not use a Valentine's Day theme? I know many of us. Papo Jr., am I down with OPP? Come on, man. You know me. Shit, yeah, man. I used to love OPP, man. I mean, you know, that song ended up because, talk about a random thing to bring up, but talk about a song that turned into like a pop sensation. I mean, back in the day when OPP first came out, you know what, that song, it was just hip hop. And then next thing you know, it's on all these like light pop channels. I even think like Ellen not too long. I was in a dentist's office and I think it was Ellen. Some of you may actually even know what I'm talking about. I'm in the dentist's office waiting to see my dentist, and I look at the TV and like, oh, we got a surprise for everybody. And then the next thing you know, you see Naughty by Nature come out. And, you know, but for me, Hip Hop Hooray was always the one that I enjoyed. Me and my friends used to hang out at the park and do that. You got all these like chubby white Italian guys, you know, doing that song. But it was fun, man. I'm telling you, those times, you know, were great. You know, no social media, no drama, no toxicity, none of that garbage. Just hanging out and having good times. So, which I hope we have a little bit over here. You know, obviously it's not the same because you only hear me. But, oh, and by the way, we are going to start testing calls. I'm going to be talking to Mish this weekend to figure out what software we're going to use. I have the phone number already done. It's already ready to go, but we obviously have to use the right program. Unfortunately, guys, gals, some of those wrestling podcasters out there that take calls, you know how many of them, when I reached out trying to get like, hey, what program you use? You know how many of them answered me? It's all good. It's all good. When we do it, we'll do it 10 times better. Vengeance Day predictions. Hopefully, nobody went, ah! 5 matches? Yeah, 5 matches advertised. I don't know if they're going to add anything else. I don't like that they're holding off Cross versus Escobar for next week. I don't know. But anyway, why am I not using Discord for phone calls, Lee? I'll give you the easy answer. Right now, live, I have the YouTube diagnostics here. I have super chats here. Over there, I have the chat room for all the other platforms that are streaming this live that's not on YouTube. Over here, I have my news. Over here, I have my recording software. Over here, I have the video vMix, my OBS software going. I'm not going to add Discord and have another function feature, you know, trying to streamline. And nah, man, seriously. I mean, we have a wonderful chat room over here, you know, and honestly, I'm going to just say it. I don't care if it pisses off anybody. I know I speak the truth. The Discord channel that we have in force is fun, but there's about 15 people that have dominated it so much that even when people just want to have regular conversation about wrestling or something, they get shouted down, they get laughed at, you know, like, because people just want to have simple wrestling discussion. Some people have gotten demeaned. And honestly, I'm not going to do a Discord channel where 20 people could just dominate it and have fun. Those 20 people, majority of them are great people. I almost sound like Trump. You know, they're good people on both sides. Nah, man, that channel, you go on, it's the same 20 people every day. Nope. Nope. If it expands and I see hundreds of people talking, that's different. But I'm not going to do that just to appease 20 people that don't want to go on YouTube. You know, every day I rank. People are just caring more about where they rank than anything else. Here, people just care about having a good time. And I'm not talking down to Lee. Lee is one of the coolest people that I know that I've never met in person. But, you know, I have nothing against anybody on Discord, but I'm not turning this in all disarray. That's why I stopped, with all due respect, stopped recording like Kev Castle shows and stuff like that. You know, in the midst of all of my stuff, I can't have an extra digital recorder, an extra laptop, an extra program screening this, codecing this, raising this, lowering that. You know, you want to pay me, you know, a couple $100 a month to do that, $1,000, fine. You know, I have to worry about me, and I have to worry about my family here, you know? So, anyway, let's get into predictions. NXT TakeOver. See who's that? I'm not trying to, like, ruffle feathers. I mean, you know, hopefully people understand that I'm just being straight shooting with this stuff. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So, anyway, we got 5 matches announced. 2 are the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Dusty Classic Finals. On the women's side, the winning team will also get a future WWE Tag Team Championship match. And I didn't like that announcement because I closed my eyes and I thought to myself, okay, if Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are still champions, who would be the better team to fight them? And although I would love to see Raquel Gonzalez and Nia Jax going at it a little bit, hell, I'd like to see Raquel Gonzalez and Shayna Baszler going at it. You just close your eyes and you see Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus Nia and Shayna. It kind of flows and fits so much more. And that's why I don't like that announcement by William Regal. First of all, if that happens, you know that's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to stick with my original prediction, even though I really am cautious because I think the cosmetic, the more attractive match for casual fans would be Nia and Shayna versus Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. My whole Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai. Okay. Raquel Gonzalez, for me, is going to be the next feud for Io Shirai. Raquel Gonzalez has to win something substantial and not just a War Games appearance. She's got to be NXT Women's Champion before 2021 is over. I don't know if she dethrones Io Shirai right now, but Raquel Gonzalez needs to win something more solo than anything else. Tag team, that's as close as you'll get. So for me, I want to see Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai win this Dusty Classic because it is something substantial for Raquel Gonzalez. You go back in the history books, they will be the first. They will be on that list, and that's 2 names that really could use it. Ember Moon has already made it to the big time. Sure, a lot of it didn't work out, but looking back on the annals of history and seeing Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart winning the Dusty Classic, I don't think is necessary. And at the same time, you don't want Shotzi and Ember Moon to win it because they're more in tune to fight for the tag titles. So I'm kind of torn here, but I feel, you know, Raquel Gonzalez winning something substantial leading into a feud with Io Shirai is important. Luz Gomez, you're nuts, man. Here we get for the children. Close your eyes, children. I'm going to stick with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez to win it, even though I'm very hesitant of choosing them because of what I just said with the tag belts. Now, I feel that if a heel team is going to win, a babyface team needs to win as well, which means if I'm going with Raquel and Dakota Kai, I want MSK to win it all. What an awesome way to start their career in WWE. I know what a lot of you are going to say. There's no reason to rush them. There's no reason for them to win this right now. The grizzled young veterans were in the finals last year, so let them get it this year. The problem is, I'm not feeling the grizzled young veterans yet. And then they win that, and then what? Suddenly everybody's going to give a shit about them because they won the Dusty Classic? So I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. So the funny thing is, if grizzled young veterans win, then Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart will likely win. Like, I don't see both babyface teams winning, and I don't see both heel teams winning. So I could end up being wrong on both, but I want to see MSK win it. I think that would be really, really cool. Now, this 499,000 viewer rating that they got, even though they're still new, that's something serious to look at. Because if they haven't clicked with WWE fans yet, even more of a reason why you may not want them to get it. So I'll go with this. My heart, what I want. See, the problem is with ratings predictions, what you want and what WWE wants are two totally different things most of the time. I want Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai to win it. I want MSK to win it. But realistically, I think Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon will win it, and the grizzled young veterans will win it. So that's where I go with this. That's where I go with this. Johnny Gargano defending the NXT North American Championship against Kushida. This feud is going to continue. And you know Dexter Lumis is going to be feuding a little bit more with Austin Theory. So I won't be surprised Austin Theory tries to get involved in this match. Dexter Lumis shows up. They go at it a little bit. But I think in the end, Johnny Gargano retains. Johnny Gargano keeps the belt a little bit longer. I want Kushida to win. But again, what I want and what WWE wants, I think, is two totally different things. You know Austin Theory is going to get involved. You know Dexter Lumis is going to get involved. I don't know if Cameron Grimes makes a cameo appearance during this show at all, but I'm going to go with Johnny Gargano to retain, even though I would rather see Kushida get it. Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship. Finn Balor all the way. 2-3 months ago, I told you all, give me Balor versus Dunne. I wanted to see that. I think Dunne is a monster. You don't have to be 6'5", 400 pounds, 350 to be a monster. He is a beast. That guy will twist any of us into a pretzel like this if he had to. But I don't think Pete Dunne as the NXT heavyweight champion would be in the cards right now. Finn Balor, it's more of the match to see him versus Karrion Kross or him versus someone else. So I am definitely, yeah, Darren, this might, other than the Dusty results, this really is one of the more predictable shows. Especially when you look at the logic of, you know, one heel team, one face team winning the Dusty matches. This is a very predictable show. And who knows, maybe we'll get them all wrong. But Finn Balor is going to retain. And we'll see where it goes from here. Io Shirai defending the NXT Women's Championship against Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. You and I talked about this 3 or 4 weeks ago, that Io Shirai was going to fight in either a 3-way or a 4-way at TakeOver for that title. For some reason, WWE is holding off with Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai. We all felt that it was the right momentum to have her go right from War Games to Shirai. They didn't want to do that. Maybe they wanted it to be closer to WrestleMania. But Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez being in there together will cause them to ultimately try to beat the balls off of each other. You know it's going to happen. One of them is going to try to pin Io Shirai. The other one is going to pull, the other person off. Then they're going to have dirty looks at each other, and then they're going to start beating each other down, and Io Shirai is going to end up laying them both out. In the end, Io Shirai is going to win this. I just hope we don't get anything stupid where Io Shirai pins Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez at the same time. You know, because you kind of could picture that happening. You know, like Toni Storm misses a move or Mercedes Martinez misses a move, and then Io Shirai is on top of both of them. If you even want to go the ultimate disrespectful route, have Io Shirai just with one boot on top of both of them. So I am a huge fan of Mercedes Martinez. You all know that already. Toni Storm, I understand why so many of you like her, and it's more than just a thick ass. Let's just be honest. She's phenomenal. She's a star. Her being in a three-way gives the way out where there'll be some type of finish, and Io Shirai will get it. It's not going to be a straight-up one-on-one. So no matter what happens, Mercedes Martinez loses no stock. Toni Storm loses no stock. Io Shirai will retain. I am calm, Darren. That's why I'm saying that she's more than just a thick ass. You see some people on social media, it gets on a level of creepiness. It gets on a level of creepiness with some of these people, especially when these people hide behind emojis or cartoon characters, or you don't even know what they look like. Can you just imagine them on the other side of the computer? Imagine someone that is like Andre the Giant size, but not 7'4" this way, 7'4" this way. And, you know, at home, you know, tweeting about Toni Storm, and Lord knows what is going on the opposite side of that computer. To quote my 5-year-old nephew, ew, ew, ew. She is sexy, no question. But if I want sexy like that, I go to OnlyFans. I go to Pornhub. I'm watching Wrestling Sunday. Toni Storm could bring it. Mercedes Martinez could bring it. Io Shirai could definitely bring it. That may end up being the best match of the night. Obviously the heavyweight title, Balor Dunn or the three-way is probably going to be the match of the night. Somebody may try to steal the show, and that is pretty damn good. I know, gross. Ew, gross. So anyway, that is your takeover predictions. I agree. It feels like a very predictable show. As long as the matches are good, I don't think we'll complain. But with that said, I am going to jet out of here for tonight. About an hour and 40 minutes. Very manageable. We stuck to the topics on hand, and definitely post your comments during the weekend. I am going to play catch up and respond to everybody's comments that you left during the week. I have lurked and seen them. I just haven't responded to everybody's yet, but I'll do that during the weekend. If you're around Sunday night after NXT TakeOver, you're welcome to join me here. We'll talk about the pay-per-view. If not, join me Monday night. 11:05 p.m. after Raw. Myself and Mish will be here, and I think we might have some new production surprises as well. Working on something that I might be able to finish over the weekend. But whoa! Whole super chat, Luis. Oh, I don't see any. No, there's no whole super chat unless you just sent it. Oh, I don't see nothing. A whole super chat? Whoa. I'm looking. I honestly don't see nothing. You know what? We got to be a little transparent over here. Let me scroll backwards a little bit and see what's going on. He says that he sent a very substantial super chat. I am going backwards to see. I do not see. That is pretty substantial, but that's a super chat, but not in the way that we, no, there's nothing here. Not trying to, no, see, Papo Jr. with the OPP. Yeah, you know me. But that's all. No joke. No whole super chat. But you know what? That is pretty cool, though. I give you A for effort on there. Oh, man. You know what? I got him. Maybe we need to. No, he's not a troll. He's not a troll, Michael. You a-hole. But I'm going to, we got to come up with a whole super chat. I got to see. Maybe I could get a close-up of Naya's face. Maybe I'll see how that looks. Maybe we'll use that as an emoji. So this weekend we'll be able to add another one. So as more people join in memberships, YouTube gives you more emojis. So I think we're up to 10. So I'll mess with them. Or maybe we'll rotate every week. But, yeah, no, Darren, get back to the show. I'll get back to the show. Night, everybody. On the way out, if you enjoyed the show, like I said, I would greatly appreciate it. If you did one of these, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. This way, when we start doing those pre-recorded shows, you'll know as soon as they are online. And for all my friends out there that are members, we'll post a couple updates over the weekend. And we're going to do something next week, probably like a Q&A or something like that. May even take calls. We're working on it, so... But everyone, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Stay safe, no matter where you are. And if you are going to check out Takeover, enjoy it, my friends. And I think, realistically, I think it's going to be an absolutely great show. Takeovers are usually a little bit shorter, so probably like 2.5 hours seems to be, what we're looking at. So if you hang out with me Sunday night, it should be very early, 9:30. 10 o'clock, very reasonable for the United States. I know for you overseas it's a little more difficult, and for everyone who celebrates it, have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I know not everybody out there has a Valentine at the moment. We've all in our lives had moments where we didn't have Valentines. Don't get depressed. Don't feel alone. You're not alone. You got everybody online. It's just another day of the week. Honestly. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take her out to dinner tomorrow. Maybe I'll get a little dessert at the end. But, honestly, it's a way to show a little affection in some ways. But, honestly, don't even sweat it, man. Seriously. Yeah, and some of you, hey, if it's hanging out at home, getting a little bit of takeout or Grubhub delivery and checking out a little bit of Pornhub, so what? Seriously, so what? Don Tony has had many nights like that in my lifetime, so we've all been there. And I don't mind admitting it. So anyway, I'm out of here. Post your comments, your feedback, always welcomed. And I'll see you again either Sunday night after the pay-per-view or Monday night after Raw. So good night, everybody. Take care. All the best. Ciao.